Romans 9. Verse 26. And it shall come to pass in that place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. There shall you be called the children of the living God.
Now my eyes open from the pain of the curses. When I'm feeling worthless, I need a higher to reach the surface. My spirit man battle against my flesh. Will I succeed to fail the test? I never rest, knowing my people live in stress, but really blessed. Deuteronomy 7:6. We a holy people, just peep the game, we too lethal. That's why people get needles. Hospital beds and meds, bullet holes from feds. Kids running the streets and bodies turning up dead. Now tell me, how can you explain the man? And why mothers gotta cry, spirit filled with sadness. I think I know why, because we lost our power, falling away from the Most High. Our higher is the God that keep us safe, that's at all times. But we stiff-necked, don't wanna listen, like a kid disobeying his parents. He gon' make us learn by disciplining his children into submission, making us wonder why our people gotta die, our mothers gotta cry. We went into captivity for the night time.
Heard of the curses that are high up put on
Deuteronomy 28
on his chosen people, and gave them laws written in stone. Have you ever heard of the people that was called by his name?
Deuteronomy 7:6.
They didn't want to listen, therefore all they feel is pain.
Let me tell you what happened. The most I spoke to Moses in the burning bush. Told him lead us out of slavery. Yup, and he was shook, but he listened and let us straight out of prison. Because of how he loved Abraham, he kept his promise to heal us. But he gave Moses commandments on the way to live in his land. But he promised off our fathers Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham. But the people wasn't grateful. Stiff-necked is what they became, and complained about Moses and just about everything. He led the 12 tribes over Jordan, trying to see the land. That's when our father said he would seek to bless every man that listens to his voice and rejoice to make choices. Glorify his name, his commandments, his statutes. Love the Most High with your heart and by action. Worship other gods, he will curse you, divorce you, sell you by ships where your enemies can hurt you, while your brothers will hate you, other nations will slay
Have
you.
you ever heard of the curses that are high up put on
Deuteronomy 28.
his chosen people, and gave them laws written in stone? Have you ever heard of the people that was called by his name?
Deuteronomy 7:6.
They didn't want to listen, therefore all they feel is pain.
Wow, YouTube.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and lock that date in April 2nd, 2022. Yehudi Gang presents first annual Brew Your Bash, baby. Let's get it in. Come on with me. Let's vibe by Keith. Yeah, I thought I knew, but I had no idea. Always had a relationship with the Father, and I always held him near. But I was blind to the fact that when I was looking up, I should have been looking within the walls of this empty cup. Then I would have known that it was not empty at all. I was searching for walls of this empty cup. Then I would have known that it was not empty at all. I was searching for greater heights, but I always referred to my fall.
Giving blessings, honor, glory, and power be to him that sits upon the throne and to the Lamb forever and ever. Ruth was an Israelite. She was not a Moabite. And we will go into the scriptures to prove that point. I am fully convinced, and you will be too, after this biblical breakdown on the actual scripts and what it is saying about how Ruth was not an actual Moabite. All right. Now check this out. First, let's share the screen. Is the screen sharing? Okay, we got the screen on the sharing. All right. You see right here, clear as day. All right, so first, we give him blessings, honor, glory, and power be to him that sits upon the throne and to the Lamb forever and ever. Secondly, man, don't forget to subscribe and share this, because this is going to be the end game move when it comes down to determining what was Ruth the Moabitess. Was she an Israelite or was she actually a Moabite? All right, so we're gonna start at Ruth 1:1. And it says right here, it says, now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. You see, and where the confusion comes into play is when people see the word country of Moab and they take the modern Western terminology as in country, and we're thinking, oh, it's talking about the whole occupied areas of the Moabites. And that's what a lot of people just go and presume, being presumptuous, or just assume that this is what it's saying. But as we're going to go into the scriptures now, let's go into Numbers 21:4 so we can get this solid understanding about where the country of Moab actually was. All right, so we go to Numbers 21:4. It says, and they sojourned from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. So these people right here, they were coming under the land of the Edomites and around to a compass to go around. So they went this path to go up. We're using this map right here. We do know over here at One Nation Set Apart that the Holy Land is in Africa. But just for the sake of the argument, we're going to go with the contemporary map, because regardless of where you believe that this place is at, these details and these people's migration patterns and the landmarks that these people were using to decipher one spot from another is very important. All right, now so we're going to look at the routes, and you see that they went around to go up, and at the above you see Moab, Mount Seir. All right, where Most High God gave the Edomites. They went around it. So and they journeyed from Oba and pitched at IRREFUTABLE in the wilderness, which is before Moab, towards the sun rising, so towards the east. All right, so these people, they pitched and they ended up right here at IRREFUTABLE. All right, right here at the border of the land of Moab. This is all the Edom territory. They went around. All right, they didn't go through the land of Edom because those people is crazy. So let me make sure nobody's in the back real quick. All right, so we see, and when they went right here. They pitched right at the border in between Moab and Edom. All right. From thence they removed and pitched on the other side of Arnon, which is in the wilderness that comes out of the coast of the Amorites. For Arnon is the border of Moab between Moab and the Amorites. So they went all the way up to the top. They bypassed and passed up the whole occupation and dominion of the Moabites. They didn't even touch it. They went completely past it. This is very important for us to be able to understand exactly what was going on when it came down to the children of Israel ruling over themselves during the time of the judges up until they had a king. These Israelites, and that actually encompasses the time frame of Ruth also. So the Israelites, which were pre-warned before in the scripts, before they got over here, that God is not going to give them the land of Moab. All right. They're not supposed to go into any of the Moabites' territory and go bother them, because those are the children of Lot. And the same as went with the Edomites, which would be the reason for them to have compassed the land of Edom and completely bypassed the land of Moab and begin their journey going into the land from the Arnon River as the boundary. You see that? So, and we see up here, we see the word Sihon. Sihon was the Amorite king that ruled over this land that the Israelites are now trekking into. And he was an Amorite. All right? But this was a land that the Amorites took from the Moabites. And we're going to, and the scriptures is going to prove that later on, which would be the reason why they had an area called the country of Moab, or the plains of Moab. So in Numbers 21 and 19, it says, and from Madana to Nahalil, and from Nahalil to Bamoth, and from Bamoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks towards Jeshimon. So we see that the country of Moab is a spot that was referenced to within the borders of the Ammonite kingdom. And as we see, you see Pisgah, and you see the plains or the country of Moab. This is the route that they went. As you can see, the Israel's route. They went into the land of the Amorites. And they went in between Pisgah or Mount Nebo, and in between and in between Heshbon. All right, so this is where the Israelites camped, right in the land of the Ammonites. I mean the Amorites, like it. Numbers 21 and 21, it said, and Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through your land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well, but we will go along by the king's highway until we be past your borders. So the Israelites was like, we're just going to go along this route, the king's highway, and we're not going to go off into any of your guys' land and mess with any of your guys' surplus. All right. So they were going in a trajectory north. All right. And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border, but Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness. And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel, and Israel smote him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from Arnon unto Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. So the Israelites didn't go anywhere into the children of Ammon's territory, but they did take over the land that Sihon had power and control over, which is all this area right here, as you can see on the map. But they didn't go into the land of Ammon. So they had a specific location where the Israelites took over. And as you can see, the plains of Moab is in the northern region, northwestern region of that territory. He said, and Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the villages thereof. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and taken all his land out of his hand, even unto Arnon. So it used to be the Moabites' land, all the way up to the Mount Hermon, and down, and including the area on the north side of the Arnon River. But the Moabites lost that land in war with the Amorites, which got taken over by the Israelites, as we see in Numbers 21. So this was an area that the Israelites were occupying, that God has now given to them through war. So in the plains of Moab, or the country of Moab, is located in that same region as we just read. It was in 21 and 20, where it was calling it the country of Moab, which is an area that is actually situated in the Amorites, or King Sihon's territory, which the Israelites took over. So we're going to see that the Israelites never lost hold of that either. But there were Moabites in that land at that time, up until the time of King Sihon. But we see what happened with them right here in Numbers 29. It says, "Woe to you, Moab, thou art undone." This is the same chapter. "O people of Chemosh, and he has given his sons that escaped from being killed, and his daughters into captivity unto Sihon, king of the Amorites." So the Moabites that didn't get slaughtered, which was the children, the male children and the women and the daughters, those ones were put into slavery by the Amorites. All right. So we see that when the Amorites took over the Moabites' land, they occupied that land all the way up into the time of the Israelites. And there was a servant class of people there, which were the the Moabites that was existing in that land. He says, so thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites. So we know that that land that was considered the plains of Moab, as we see in Numbers 22 and 1, in the country of Moab, is the same place that we see in Numbers 20, Numbers 21 and 20. We see it in Numbers 21 and 20 was called the country of Moab, like it says in Ruth 1 and 1. But we see it right here that it's called the plains of Moab, the same one right here in Numbers 22 and 1, which matches up with the map, calling it the plains of Moab. That was the region where Ruth came from. But this was already Israelite territory being occupied by the book of Numbers.
Yeah, because I was wondering why they were so easily going back and forth.
Right, because that was their land now, which was formerly or originally the Moabites' land. But they lost that 2 wars back.
Right.
So we had Numbers 22 and 1. It says, "And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side of Jordan by Jericho." And as you see, they stayed all on this area, and they started moving to the west side. And if you go to the The Septuagint, it says on the west. It says they dwelt on the west side of the Jordan. I mean, they dwelt up to the west side of my bad. Let me just get that again, man. Says, and the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab. It says on the west, in the Septuagint, it says the west of Moab, on this side of Jordan by Jericho. So they dwelt on West Moab, which is, according to the KJV, also the plains of Moab. And we see that the plains of Moab on this map is located right here, northwest of the territory of the which was formerly the Amorites, which was originally the Moabites' kingdom, called the plains of Moab, all the way down to the Arnon River. Israelites occupied all this territory. And they originally obtained it through war and they conquest to their pilgrimage to the Holy Land, man. And we're going to see that the Israelites didn't leave no Moabites or no Amorites alive. And we can see in Deuteronomy chapter 2 and 31 at that time, it's going to give a summary about this incident. He said, and the Lord said unto me, behold, I have begun to give Sihon and his land before you. Begin to possess, that thou mayest inherit his land. Then Sihon came out against us, he and all his people, to fight to Yahaz. He said, and the Lord, our power, delivered him before us, and we smote him, and his sons, and all his people. And we took all his cities at that time, and utterly destroyed the men, and the women, and the little ones of every city. We left none to remain. So the Israelites didn't leave anybody to remain at all of that empire. They completely eradicated those people. The only thing they kept from those people was the spoil and the cattle. But all human life was eradicated. And then we back it up at Deuteronomy 3 and 6. It says, and we utterly destroyed them as we did unto Sihon, king of Heshbon. Talking about Og. Because they ended up destroying the kingdom of Og also. He said, utterly destroying the men, women, and children of every city. But all the cattle and the spoil of the cities we took for a prey to ourselves. No humans. But all the cattle and the spoil of the cities we took for a prey to ourselves. You see that? So when they say that they took this land, there was none to remain as in human life. That would go for the slaves also, or those Moabite captives that the Ammonites still possessed. He killed all of them. He said, and we took at that time out of the hand of the two kings of the Amorites the land, not the women, not the children, not the Moabites, the land that was on this side Jordan, from the river of Arnon unto Mount Hermon. So they took all this land. The Israelites took all of that. None of this was occupied by an Amorite citizen or an Amorite descendant. It wasn't nor a Moabite descendant, or anything of that sort. And at Numbers 32 and 33, and Moses gave unto them, even to the children of Gad, My bad, a lot.
Khan. Shabbat
You
shalom.
seeing it? You catching this?
Yeah. Oh,
You see
yeah.
this?
Oh, yeah. Taking notes.
And Moses gave unto them, even to the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and unto half the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon. What? The kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land with the cities thereof in the coast, even the cities right here of the country round about. That's all this area that used to be occupied by the Amorites
and the Moabites.
That went all to Manasseh, Gad, and Reuben. You see that?
Yeah.
So this right here was the area that Ruth was supposed to have came from during the time of the judges. So that would explain and cancel out the fact, that would explain why she was an Israelite. It would cancel out the possibility of her being a Moabite. This was Israelite territory. The Moabites was way down here. You see that?
Yeah.
Moabites was way down here. This is all Israelite territory now. So we go to Judges 11 and 12, and we will see how long they had that land. Because now we got an Ammonite dude coming through, trying to come through tripping, trying to claim that land. He said, and Japheth sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, what hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel, this is what he says, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt from Arnon unto Jabbok and unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. So he's trying to give claim to this area, saying that this was his. So he's trying to come up and fight against it. But look how long, what did Jephthah respond? He said, wait a minute. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon and said unto him, thus says Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. So Israel had nothing to do with the Moabites' territory, nor the children of Ammon in any way. He said, and while Israel dwelt in Heshbon and her towns, and in Aroer and her towns, and in all the cities that be along by the coast of Arnon, 300 years. Why therefore did you not recover them within that time? In other words, he's saying, man, we've been here for 300 years this whole time, and you ain't said nothing. Why haven't you tried to say anything about that since? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said, we've been here for 300 years. And this is during the time of the judges, right? So now we go back to Ruth 1 and 1. So we know that now the Israelites ruled in the land of the judges for 300 years unadulterately, without them even leaving their land, saying, no, we dwell in all the cities of Aurora and others. And what the other ones he said? He said, while Israel dwelt in Heshbon, that's where they were, and in her towns, all the surrounding towns around there, and Aurora, over and her towns, and in all the cities that be along by the coast of Arnon, 300 years. Not in the Moabites' land. So now it came to pass in the days, at Ruth 1 and 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled. Now we see that at the time when the judges ruled, that was for the 300-year period. of the Israelites occupying that land that was given to Manasseh, Dan, and Gad. Or I mean, Manasseh, Reuben, and Gad.
Con.
All right. He said, a certain man of Bethlehem went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And we see the country of Moab in Numbers 21 and 20, which was in the Ammonite territory that the Israelites ended up owning and inheriting. It says, and from Bamoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab to the top of Pisgah, which looks towards Jeshimon. He said, and the children, and we got another precept to that at 21 and Numbers 21 and 22 and 1. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. So it was being interchangeable. The plains of Moab and the country of Moab was interchangeable, but it was not talking about actually the land that the Moabites owned and possessed, that the Most High God told them that they wasn't going to be able to occupy.
Con.
This was Israelite territory. So when we see that during the time of the judges, which was reigned for 300 years, this story happened, even though this book has the story of Ruth happening after the book of Judges, it didn't happen after the book of Judges. The story of Ruth happened during the time of Judges.
Con.
All right? It was just an in particular story that was
That's
recorded. Right. So let's go look at the country of Moab, that word. The country of Moab. It says, cultivated field, home of wild beasts, plain, as in the plains of Moab. You see that connection?
Con.
You know?
Yeah.
We can go down at number 3 also. Plain, opposite mountain. At the Jessenia's Hebrew Chaldea lexicon, number 1, a plain. So when you see the word country of Moab, it was talking about the plain of Moab. Just like we seen in the map, right?
Con.
Let me get it. Boom. There's the map. The plains of Moab. From the Arnon River all the way up to Mount Hermon.
Con.
So the plains of Moab, or the country of Moab, was well within the territory of the Reubenites. You see that? For 300 years plus. This is a closed case. The case is closed. You know, the mystery has been solved. Ruth was not a Moabite.
Con.
We're not done. All right. All right. So now we're going to cover the women of Moab. And it says, when they took them wives at Ruth 1 and 4, it says, and they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Oprah, and the name of the other, Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. You see that it says the women of Moab. It didn't say it took of them the daughters of Moab, like you see in Numbers 25 and 1. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the what? The daughters of Moab. It didn't say in Ruth 1 and 4 that whoredom was committed. And it didn't say that these people took them wives of the daughters of Moab. It said they took them wives of the women of Moab.
That's right.
That means the plains of Moab. And then we look at that word right here for when it says the daughters of Moab, the word Moab is Moabite or Moab, right?
Yeah.
Bat Moab. And that right there is the nation descended from the sons of Lot, the land inhabited by the descendants of the son of Lot. You see that?
Yeah.
So that right there is another one where it's saying that this is a person that is a descendancy of Moab. When it's saying the daughters of Moab, you are a descendant of Moab. That's the biblical usage. That's how the word in Hebrew, which was it was originally written in, that's how that word was to be implied when you've seen it in this combination. But in contrary, we go to the Ruth 1 and 4, and it says, and they took them wives of the women of Moab. All right? And it's a different word. You see that? It's Moabite. You see that? It wasn't Bat Moab. It was Moabia or Moabiath. Moabiath. What's up? Do you see the difference? You see the big difference? And watch the what? A citizen of Moab. That's the biblical usage. An inhabitant of the land of Moab. Didn't say anything in here about descendancy. The way that word Moabia was to be used was for a citizen. And so we go to Ruth 1 and 15 now. And she said, behold, your sister-in-law is go back into her people and unto her gods. This is another one where a lot of people get into confusion. They say, well, Ruth had to been of another nation because she had other gods. That she had to been worshiping the gods of the Moabites. That's what the scripture is saying right there in Ruth 1 and 15. And that's another mistake. Let's see why they were talking this way, and let's see what they're talking about these gods. It says right here in Deuteronomy 16 and 18, it said judges or Elohims or gods and officers shalt thou make you in all your gates, which the Lord your God gives you throughout your tribes. And they shall judge the people with just judgment. In Exodus 22 and 28, backs up this word judges as gods. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of your people. So we see that when they're talking about the times of the judges, the Hebraic concept will be saying the time of the gods. The time of the rulers. So when Naomi was telling Ruth to go back to your God, she was saying go back to the rulers. Go back to your rulers. Whichever that may be. Because God set over in those times the times of when the judges was ruling. We just started off Ruth 1 and 1, and Ruth 1 and 1 cleared it up and let you know what we're dealing with. The foundation of this premise is this is during the time of the judges, the time of the gods ruling. Go back to your judges. That's it. Wasn't saying that she had a different God, as in the Moabite Canaanite is Baal worshiping God. It was just the rulers. That's it. So it says, so we see that Ruth 3 and 11, it says, and now, my daughter, fear not. I will do, see now we're going to see that Boaz was keeping the commandments. These people were under the rulership of the judges, that means that these people were still enacting and keeping the commandments of the Most High God. All right. This is 300 years running of the Israelites inheriting their territory and now utilizing and working up the land for 300 years, keeping the commandments and handling their business according to what God has told them how to do it. That's just what was going on at the time of the judges. You know, he said that these judges shall rule their people and judge them with just judgment.
This was all before David.
All before David.
And Saul.
Khan.
Right. Yeah. So that we talking about David's grandmother. You know what I mean? Yeah, Ruth was David's grandmother.
Yeah, grandmother. So she was an Israelite. And we're seeing that she came from the plains of Moab, which was just a territory that the Ammonites used to occupy, but they lost that from warring with the Israelites.
Right.
And we inherited that land.
Right.
And Moses gave it to Reuben.
Right.
And he gave the country of Og, which was another Amorite. He gave that to Gad and Manasseh.
Come.
This is what happened. That's why we have to carry the information forward before we just jump into the story. You know what I'm saying? And then say, well, you know what? This is a case closed subject. Ruth is a Moabite because look, it said it.
Yeah, and a lot of people try to use that. You know what I mean?
What's
a
that?
lot of people try to use that. You know what I mean? That their understanding of what they think when they say, "Oh, Ruth is a Moabite, so we can sleep with other nations because the Israelites was doing it." Shut that down.
Yeah, that's shut down. Ruth trying to use Ruth as a scapegoat to mix your holy seed is not acceptable anymore. You don't have the excuse no more. After this video comes out, everybody that hears it doesn't have the excuse.
That's
now
right.
You know. You're like, nah, Ruth was not of another nation. He said, and now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to you all that thou requires, for all of the city of my people does know that thou art a virtuous woman. All right. So he said, so he's like, okay, I already heard about you. You know what I mean? Everybody let me know. Everybody knows your business. Everybody knows that, you know what I'm saying? You a cool woman. You're not no crazy, you know what I mean? You're not a crazy ass lady. He said, and now it is true that I am your near kinsman. Why is he enacting the kinsman law with this woman if he's about to break the law?
Right.
He said, howbeit, Boaz, the grandfather of David.
That's right.
He said, and now it is true that I am your near kinsman. Howbeit, there is a kinsman nearer than I, because that's the law. He said, tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning, that if he will perform unto you the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman's part. But if he will not do the part of a kinsman to you, then will I do you the part of a kinsman to thee. As the Lord lives, lie down until the morning. So he's keeping the law. He just flexed the law on her. What law was that? Deuteronomy 25:5. He says, if brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, and that is the case between Ruth and her husband, wherever the son it was, whether it was Milhen or Colhan, whatever, right? He said they didn't have any kids. He said, so if your brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no children and have no child. So first off, the brethren has to be dwelling together. This has to be some Israelite stuff. You know what I mean? You see that? If your brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. So that's exactly what Boaz was actually flexing on her. Was letting her know, like, no, man, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not the nearest of kinsman. I'm not the actual immediate brother. There's the one that's closer. You know what I mean? And that dude ended up saying, no, I already got, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I already got enough on my hands. Yep. That's what the dude basically said. He showed up, I got enough on my hands. I'm good. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's how Boaz ended up doing it. Right. He did it through, he even pushed God. He even said, man, as the Lord lives. Right. You know what I mean? So this wasn't a guy that was like, oh, I'm about to break the commandment, even though I'm flexing the commandment. No, he kept the commandment. Right. He said, so at Deuteronomy 23:3, this is another commandment. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. What? Even to their 10th generation, they shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way, when you came forth out of Egypt. And because they hired against you Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse you. So these people was forbidden to even be sitting around there rocking with like that in that type of manner. So Boaz was keeping the commandments. We know that he was. It doesn't make sense. If you're going to be an honest person, you're going to actually say, you know what, that sounds a lot more sensible. He is flexing the kinsman law. You know what I mean? She did come from the area that the Israelites reigned over for 300 years. Okay. You know, if you're going to be honest, you would say you're right. That actually is what the Bible is saying. Like, you just showed us the map. You showed us the migration pattern. You showed us the landmarks. You showed it. This is what it is. Moab, I mean, the plains of Moab is the country of Moab. And the country of Moab is not the actual territory of Moab. It's farther south, way farther south, actually. That's just biblical facts, man. No. And I think that we did that. So that's just the truth. So when people try to come through and say these crazy things, man, they are either doing it on purpose because they have an agenda, and that's usually a case, or they just have they are insufficient in the knowledge of the biblical details. They are completely overlooking the book of Numbers. When the book of Numbers is telling you what actually transpired for these terms to be accepted by the time you get to the book of Ruth, you hear about country of Moab or the women of Moab. You can understand, or at the time when the judges ruled, you get to get a better, firm understanding. But without you actually reading the scriptures, yes, you will fumble on a lot of those trip ups and believe that Moabites was the land that we were in. We was all it was just a few of us Negroes dealing in the country of Moab, and you know, some dude from Judah then wandered off into some unknown territory and started marrying these strange people. That's not the truth. That's the furthest from the truth. These people was dwelling in the Israelite territory, and that actually had to get flexed down the road 300 years to the Ammonite king that was coming through trying to lie. Yeah, like, yeah, man, this my territory. Y'all took this stuff, 300 years ago. Right. You looking like, wait a minute. We didn't touch none of y'all stuff. Right. We didn't touch Ammon or Moab. We wasn't even trying to touch them. The Israelites wasn't even trying to war with the Ammonites. Even God told them, even after God told them,
they wouldn't let the nigga pass through.
They didn't let the nigga pass through. The Ammonites had to actually push the limit.
Yeah.
And then the Israelites
like
responded. Come on now, let's check it out. Watch this.
The Canaanites.
Let's just look at the screen. Look on your screen real quick. Watch this. Oops. Watch this. Look what the Ammonites look like. This is just another nugget.
You got a picture of them?
I mean, they're not an Ammonite, an Amorite. Was I saying Amorite? I mean Ammonite this whole time? My bad.
Amorite, my bad. I said Ammonite too.
Watch this.
Who are these people descended from?
The Amorites.
Amorites and the Moabites descended from Lot.
No, the Amorites.
Oh,
Watch, we're gonna get who the Amorites are from. Watch. Hold on, let me just get it though.
Edomite. Amorite. Oh yeah. Amorites. I know what them is. That's the Edomites.
It means a sayer. It said one of the Canaanitish tribes.
Oh,
You see that? I keep trying to tell people, man, hey man, I believe these white folks is Canaanites.
Khan.
Watch this. Look at these people.
Whoa.
That's an Amorite. Look at the screen. You can pull it up on your screen. You got to see this.
On my screen.
Never mind. Yeah, these people are. Look at that. What does that look like?
Like Jewish people, man.
Jewish people, man.
Pointy nose.
White people.
Yeah.
Who got that? Who got that big old nose other than the Jewish and the white folk? Got that sharp, pointy nose. Got that little bitty
That
head.
ain't no Negro. That definitely ain't no Negro phenotype.
No, these ain't Negroes. Look at this dude. He looks like one of the leaders of the Nazis.
Come on now.
It literally looks like that's how the white boys look in jail.
Khan.
Like that. The beard sticking out,
Yeah.
pointy nose, little angry little fucker. There goes another one of them.
Man, that's an Edomite, man. That's not a black dude for sure. That's 100% white man.
Right. Look how he got his hair tied up. You don't
Yeah.
notice that? Look, it's tied up in the back right there.
Oh, snaps. Oh, he took it off his neck and pulled it up.
Yeah, he took it off his neck and pulled it up.
Dang.
That's profound,
Khan.
It ain't nothing new under the sun. It's been a black and white thing from the beginning. Here's another one. That's an Amorite too. Looking like Conor McGregor or something like that.
He got the hair tied up too.
Yeah, got the hair tied up. That's what they do. They tie the hair up. That's just a. And then watch this. Look at this. You type in the word Canaanite artifacts, and this is something that I was going to make a video on, but it's not really nothing to really make too much of a video on. It's just you to show the artifacts, and that's the end of the story. Look at this. That's a Canaanite. They don't look like any Negro haplogroup in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
That doesn't look like an African or what we know as a modern look characteristics of the African. This is what we would call a white person. Look at this. There was another one. Look at this. There go some more of them. They're showing you white people. This is them depicting to you white people. This is what you get when you get the Canaanites.
Yeah, you don't get no Negroes.
No, you don't get Negro-looking people. You're getting Caucasian-looking people. Yeah. Caucasians. There was another one. They're not showing you Negroes.
No, not once. You see that Canaanite ancient one right there? That lady, that's a white lady, man.
Right here.
Right there, you see on the side, in a white. Yeah, you see that lady right there? The Canaanite and ancient is. It says Canaanite and ancient is. It's right there. Go a little bit to the left.
Right here. Right
no,
here.
The next one in all black.
Yeah. It's a white person.
Straight white lady.
They're not showing you black people.
That's without a doubt, man. So show me one sister.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
It's another one. See, look, these are some crazy Canaanite things. Look at that. This is a white dude. This is a white woman.
Yeah.
This is some white guy. Look at this. This is all Canaanite.
So special.
Well, I think that's a part thing. I think we're going farther now. You get
white
the picture.
lady. Khan.
Yeah, these are all white ladies. And white men.
Khan. Yeah, that's deep. You know, a lot of Israelites.
The same goes for the Amorite.
A lot of Israelites think the Canaanite was black, and a lot of black dudes, a lot of black people get mad at the Israelites because they're saying that, yeah, man, we took over these black people. Like, man, y'all niggas took over black people, man. Y'all niggas wrong. This and that, man.
They were wrong, and this video should clear it up.
Come on.
Like if you want to know exactly what went on at that time, not only you're gonna find out that Ruth was an Israelite, and you're gonna find out that these Amorites were Canaanites, and these Canaanites were white people.
Come on. They got, you know what I mean? Oh man, you know the Canaanites close to that market Cain, man. That word Canaanite, Cain.
Right. That's a trip, huh? Ain't that? And that would be one hell of a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask me, that's biblical prophecy.
Car.
Special.
Look at him. Canaanite. That's what the Canaanites look like.
Looks like he got some Negro in servitude. You see that?
It looks like a Negro got him. It look like he got a It looks like a Negro got him in servitude. If you look right here, that's a Canaanite right there. Look at that pointy ass beak.
Yeah. You see the apple? What?
And this dude got some type of bush going on around him, around his head, but his head is just flat and then beak. You get what I'm saying? They are emphasizing the same type of characteristics as this right here.
Yeah, that was a good one, man.
That was a good one, huh?
Con.
Yeah, we know now. They're getting this same type of characteristics right here, man. Look at that. That's an Amorite. This is what the Amorites look like. This is what the white man looks like.
Con. Look like 3 old white dudes.
Yeah. Huh? 3 old white dudes. You can't make this stuff up. But yeah, man. With that being said, man, you know what I'm saying? The point has been proven. So now I am completely and truly convinced that Ruth was not a Moabite, and you should be too by this time. If you held into this lesson up until now, you should be seeing very clearly that we are on point when we're saying that Ruth was an Israelite. On point. No, that was not a Moabite. It was a Moabitess. That means that she was just a citizen of the country of Moab. Because that's right. That's where we occupy. That was one of our first encampments. We encamped in the plains of Moab.
That's right.
Coming over there after we just got done from whooping up on Sihon and taking everything that he had, including the country of Moab. And the only reason why it was called the country of Moab is because it still held its name, because it was originally the land of Moab before the Amorites took it over. That's it.
That's right.
But the Israelites occupied that area for 300 years, all the way up into the book of Judges, all the way up into the time of Ruth, which was during the time of Judges. There is no wiggle room. There is no alternative breakdown. This is what the Bible is letting us know, man. It was just a simple, but it had to have been, it was necessary. It was very necessary, but very simple breakdown on the migrational pattern and the settlements that the Israelites was occupying and inheriting during their conquest to the Holy Land. It's just that simple, man. You know, all praises to the Most High God, man.
His son
Yahushua HaMashiach, man, for sitting around here, giving us the Holy Spirit to be able to decipher these scriptures and to be able to see the truth.
By Hashem Yahushua HaMashiach.
But yeah, man, you got anything to add to that, man, before we go into closing it down?
Nah, man. Shabbat Shalom. One nation set apart, man. That Holy Spirit, man, is revealing us, you know what I mean? Revealing these words to us, man, in these last days, man.
Truth.
All praises to the Most High, man. Kahalal Haba.
All praises to the Most High,
I ain't seen that nowhere else but on One Nation Set Apart, man.
One Nation Set Apart, man. Don't forget to subscribe, man. Like and hit that share button. Spread this truth, man, to as far as it can go. Because we already, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, we already in the dawning of the kingdom of God. This is how it's being established before his eyes. We've shown that on prior videos also. This is how it's done. God establishes the kingdom. That means it gets built up step by step. So don't miss out on your number, like it says in XXXIX chapter 2, man. Take your number. Obtain that 144 status, man. Become part of the elect. You'll be surprised how much credit you get from God by just giving an exaltation, let alone sending and sharing a video. It's real deal, man. We almost out of here. With that being said, man, all praise to the Most High power by Hashem Yahushua HaMashiach and Maranatha.
Run it off.
Yo, this your phone, 104 mine. Yo, I holla at your phone. I know. And this that must go get it. Well, holla at your phone. Here to the Lord, do it all in the name of Yahweh. The kingdom business, man. Yes, sir. All time, Shem Yahweh Shah. For the 12, for the 12. All on the line. Can tell you don't care what they think about how you go. Long as I'm feeling me, all I care about is one. But let's be real, they gotta mention. We come together as one, I'ma keep pushing. No, they am. I'm just trying to restore the fact. Raise up the odds, I ain't steady. Look here, young man, you got the power. Give Bible perspective. A lot of time it ain't the meanest disrespect for women. Yo, every day I'm going in. All the slick hate I'm getting. But I'ma stand bold as a lion. Don't have to use my whistle rock. I understand. I know they gon' hate on me wherever I go. I ain't just talking, look, the script said it. Already know. 6 and 4 said the same thing at Boosie. Ain't no love where you grow. Gotta plant through 10 and 36. Gotta watch the ones in your home. Hey, I know they gon' hate on you wherever I go. But I'ma push this truth like this into the folk codes. You can call the Isaiah if it's in it, I go. It's a must, I get the blessings. I'm just reaping what I sow. I'm on my line. I ain't got the time, y'all. Look, I ain't stressed. Screenshot text message. Too busy count blessings. Had to put away my childish ways. Trying to understand how you question me. You know I'm with multiple eyes. Big dog and I'm big in the gates. Idle time, that's a big mistake. She invest in the field, real estate. Proverbs 31 relate. So I can let them go fall that way. Probably on my stomach, block out the gate. The hate for the ox, the crazy. Give them praise that I made it. Cast away the flesh. I know they gon' hate on me wherever I go. I ain't just talking, look, the script said it. Already know. My 6 and 4 said the same thing at Boosie. Ain't no love where you grow though. After 10 and 36. Gotta watch the ones in your home. Hey, I know they gon' hate on me wherever I go. But I'ma push this truth like this into the folk codes. You can call the Isaiah if it's in it, I go. It's a must, I get the blessings. I'm just reaping what I sow. This that must go get it. And here to the Lord.